Here's how some of the translations work. You could do it Hebrew to English or English to Hebrew. We chose to try to use the word Ray. There's one way of doing it. Another one we chose to do was Rael. Now this is going to be an interesting one right here. Okay, you can see how that spells Rael. And right here you can see that this also spells Rael. Here we are, English to Hebrew. Now when you're in the actual program, this is what it typically looks like. Now if you go over here to the dictionary part, you can look up the many different spellings of many different words. As you can see, Lord has many different spellings. Down here we have expected of a number of occurrences for stuff that we are looking up. And we also can put in many other terms to go along with the main term, and then we will hit search. And whatever we find, we will display the code that is found, if any is found. Here's some of the codes that we have found. Alien God, which we were inspired to look that up based off of Ancient Aliens. In addition to Giant God, based off of some of the other paranormal research. We also found death camps based off of what we've heard about the FEMA camps. And of course we wanted to make confirmation of this, and we found USA to go right along with it. Here's an interesting one, Bible changed. This will be discussed later on. I'll give you a hint at the topic. It has to do with Antichrist. Here's Columbia, the space shuttle that blew up. We had flame to go along with that, frightened, engulfed. Quite a code right there. Crop circles to go along with ufology, and look at what pops up, angelic, to go right along with that. Some believe aliens are angels. Nibiru, the very famous theory, that has also popped up in our Torah codes. USA ending, to go right along with our death camp Torah code. Decided to do this one later on after the death camp one. Yes, we even had our paranormal team within the Torah codes. There was one occurrence. And my favorite video game company, Nintendo. Take a look at some of the other stuff that was found with that. Quite interesting. We had Fun, 1985 to 1986, which was the launch of NES and the Super Mario Brothers. The Torah codes are incredible. We highly recommend that you take the time to look up the program called Keys to the Bible. It's a $99 program, and it is well worth it. Let's start to go into the end of days. Now that you've seen some of the methods that Uini Research uses, the mindset that we're in, and have a general idea of the Torah codes, which is used within the Jewish faith, we can now start to go into the end of days and what to expect.
There is something that has recently captivated biblical scholars and scientists alike, however. It is the notion that there might be something more here than just the words that are on the surface. There is evidence that embedded within the Hebrew letters of what the Jews refer to as the Torah, that is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, or the first 5 books of the Bible, there is a code that tells of events far into the future. A code that, according to some, could only have been put there by the original author, God himself. Some researchers have even suggested that Yeshua, the Hebrew name for Jesus Christ, has been found to be part of these codes throughout the Old Testament.
66 books penned by 40 different guys over thousands of years are collectively a supernaturally given and skillfully engineered message system.
People ask me frequently, are there hidden codes in the Bible? And there absolutely are. Proverbs 25:2 tells you that. It's the glory of God to conceal a thing, but it's the honor or duty of kings to search out the matter. Way back in the 16th century, Rabbi Cordovero pointed out that the secrets of the Torah are revealed in the skipping of letters. So this idea of Bible codes is not a new idea. It's a rediscovery of things that were known centuries ago.
Every major event in world history, every major figure in world history appears to be encoded in the Bible.
It was the 50-year-old discovery of Rabbi Weissmandl that finally convinced a small group of Israeli scientists that computers might be the key that would unlock the centuries-old mystery of the Bible code. It was Dr. Eliyahu Rips, one of the world's leading mathematical experts, who devised the first mathematical model to test the viability of the skip codes Weissmandl had apparently demonstrated. But he soon enlisted the help of Doran Whitsom, a graduate student in physics specializing in general relativity, and Yoav Rosenberg, a brilliant young computer scientist. Together, they hoped to prove scientifically whether or not a Bible code existed.
In creating the Bible code computer program, took the original Hebrew text of the first 5 books of the Bible, the words that, according to the Bible itself, God dictated to Moses on Mount Sinai 3,200 years ago. And all he did to that text was to eliminate the breaks between the words, so that instead of words on a page, it became one long strand of letters, 304,805 Hebrew characters, from the first letter in Genesis to the last letter in Deuteronomy, with no break in words. He then programmed a computer to look for really a very simple code that would reveal new information. Skip any equal number of letters, and the new information was revealed.
The key to statistical significance is how many related terms are found in a small area of biblical text and how many characters are in each term. Short words in lots of text are very likely just coincidence. So, if all text can produce words at equidistant letter sequences, what makes the Torah codes unique?
Now, it's amazing. And only in the Bible do you find this. You could find Kennedy or Shakespeare in some equidistant skip in any big enough text. If not in War and Peace, look in a bigger book. Eventually you will find some equidistant skip sequence that does spell out the name of any historical figure. But only in the Bible will you find encoded consistently in the same place accurate related information.
In order to test the ELS code theory, the research team created a program according to strict scientific and statistical rules. The usable text would be only the book of Genesis, some 78,000 letters. In order to make certain the results could not be tainted by subjective interpretation, they selected the names of 34 of Israel's most famous and revered sages as the target of their search. To make it more difficult, they also asked the program to search for either the target's birth date or death date. The results of this test startled even the researchers. All 34 names were there, coded into the text, along with either their date of birth or date of death.
He used statistics correctly, and he found that the information encoded in the Bible was encoded there against odds of 10 million to 1.